Hey guys, just in case cell phone repairs, today we're going to do a little quick tutorial on replacing the screen on an iPhone 5C. So we're going to get started here. Well, first thing I'm going to do, just going to power down the phone here. So to replace the screen, the first thing you want to do is you want to remove these two pentalobe screws on the bottom. These pentalobe screws are 0.08, so if you're looking for a little screwdriver that takes these screws out, you will be looking for a pentalobe screw that is 0.08. Once I get those screws out, I'm just going to use this little metal pry tool and get underneath and pop the screen up here. Once you get that screen open, there's a shield that holds down your cables. So what you want to do is you want to release these 4 screws. What I'm using here is just a normal standard Phillips screwdriver. Now remember, when you remove these screws, you should line them up properly so when you put them back they go into the same place, because these screws are different sizes. So once I get that removed, what I want to do is release these ribbon cables, or flex cables, sorry. So I'm just going to pop these up. There's 3 of them. You got your camera, your LCD, and your touch. So this is what the inside of the iPhone 5C looks like. I'm just going to move this to the side here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with taking off these 2 screws that hold down the earpiece and your front facing camera. So I'll take these 2 screws off, take the shield off, then you have your earpiece here. Now what you got here is your camera with your proximity sensor and stuff like that. So it's held down by double-sided adhesive. So what I do is I just use a flathead screwdriver and just gently get under there and just wiggle it off. Pop that right out there. So now once you've done that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that holds down your shield. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these screws out. Oops. And by taking out these screws, we will be able to get the shield off. It's a pretty easy fix. If you guys do get confused or lost along the way, just feel free to stop, rewind, or fast forward the video just to catch up to where you need to be. So once these screws are released, the shield just comes right off. The proximity in your front camera, they're all connected to the shield, so you can just move that to the side. So now you got your home button cable down here with your home button. 2 screws here. Just unscrew these 2 screws. Now this little cable is held down by double-sided adhesive too, so what you want to do is just carefully get underneath and just wiggle that off. And that should just come right off there. To get the home button out, just turn the LCD around and just push the home button out from the front. And that's all you gotta do. So now I'm going to use the same LCD because I'm just doing this as a tutorial to show you how to replace the screen. The screen on this phone is still fully functional. So we'll do everything in reverse. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the home button back in. I'll just turn it around here. Just make sure the home button is straight. Once it's straight, I'll turn it back around. I'll put my home button cable back in there, and I'll put the 2 screws back in. Once I get that done, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the shield back on and start with putting all the screws back in. again, there's 6 screws that go into here. So when you put your screws to the side, like I said, just make sure you set them up so you know which screw goes where. That way you're putting the screws back into the proper place. If you guys find this video helpful, please like and share. If you have any technical difficulties or any questions you'd like to ask us, feel free to leave a comment below, and we'd love to answer any questions that you guys may have. We're making videos all the time, so just like I said, subscribe to our channel and keep up to date. If you ever have any other issues that you might have, we might have it in our videos that may help you. So we're going to get to the top here. We're going to set everything back in. Let's put the microphone back into that little notch there, nice and snug. Line it back up. Now, like I said, there's 2 notches up here too, so you can just fit the 2 holes through there, and everything will just line up perfect. Use my tweezers to hold that camera down, set my earpiece back into place. I'm just going to put the shield back on. Remember, like I said, these screws are different sizes, so notice that this screw is longer. This screw that's longer goes onto the top. Now you gotta make sure that that goes into the top because it's pretty long. If you end up mixing it up with this one here, this one's a lot shorter, and you end up putting your screw in here, and if it's too long, it's gonna penetrate right through and crack your LCD from underneath. So you don't wanna do that. So now that I got everything back into place, I'll bring my board back and I'll snap everything back into place. This cable here, that's your touch cable. So just simply just feel it, let it set itself into place, and then just pop back in. You should hear a click. Once you hear that click, you know it's all in there properly. Same thing as your LCD cable. Like I said, with this part here, just take your time. You don't want to press too hard because you might end up damaging the contacts, and it'll be a very expensive fix after that if you end up doing that. Just kind of line it up and feel it out until you hear that little pop. Once you hear that little pop, you know it's in there properly. Same as your camera proximity cable there. Once everything's in nice and snug, just turn the phone on. Just make sure it's working. There we go. The phone's turning on. So that tells me everything's good. So once I get that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my shield back on. Right about here. So I'm going to put these screws back in. Pretty easy fix. If it's your first time, like I said, it might be a little tricky because you might be a little intimidated or whatnot, but like I said, after you do this for a while, it's pretty basic. So we just put these screws back in. Oh. This one's being a little tough, so there you go. Same thing as this screw on the shield here. Now for the top corner screw, it's not really magnetized, so you kind of have to slowly work it in. And this screw is longer than all the other ones, so like I said, you make sure you put the right screws into the right place. This is the longest screw for the shield. This goes onto the top corner. You don't want to put this screw in the other screw holes because you might end up penetrating the board, and that will not be a good thing. So now everything's good. Like I said, once you're done, what you want to do is when you put it back, insert it from the top first at an angle and just kind of slide it in, get everything nice and snug, and then just start popping your frame back down in from the top to bottom. Once you get that back in there, just put your 2 penelope screws back in and you'll be good to go. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope it helped you guys out. Everything's nice and snug. There you go. Phone's back on. Okay. Telling me the battery's low, but I'm just going to show you. Everything's good. Touch is good. There you go, guys. Little quick tutorial on how to change the screen on an iPhone 5C. Thank you.